Shazam! I like that for some reason.
Hey guys, it's Sam DeLong Games. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about Shazam. And this movie harkens back to an earlier sort of era of superhero films. But I think more than that, it also was kind of something that was very special to me in terms of disability representation, and kind of in various ways was something that was way more personal to me than I was expecting. And for those of you who are familiar with my content here on the channel, I do like to dip a toe into things like disability representation. And I've spoken many times about how I have cerebral palsy, and have even kind of mentioned it in some of my professional journalism work. And it all harkens back to the character of Freddie Freeman. And originally, when Shazam was introduced all the way back in Wiz Comics, and that is kind of what DC Comics used to call itself back before it was DC Comics. It's very inspired by a lot of these younger soldiers who would get sent home during World War II, that would have limbs missing, or have other forms of paralysis due to a war injury. But Freddie Freeman, for lack of a better explanation, was basically me when I was a kid. A kid with a disability. And I think when you're disabled, the reason why superheroes to a lot of disabled people is so compelling is it is the ultimate expression of that power fantasy. You have something about yourself that makes you a little bit different from other people. And if you are a person who is in a wheelchair, or who walks differently, or is, missing a leg or an arm, or maybe you have, just something about you that is physically different, the idea that you can do these superhero things, these superhuman things, that you can have super strength, and you can have, that you could fly and do these other things. Obviously, it's very, very appealing. I actually was able to interview the Freddie Freeman actor Jack Dylan Grazer at San Jose GalaxyCon, and we spoke about what it was like for him to play a disabled superhero.
Jack Dylan Grazer, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I just wanted to ask you a few questions about Freddie.
Yes.
When you were doing the role, and obviously Freddie is on crutches.
Yeah.
Because he falls and gets hurt. Did they give you any training with the crutches, or what kind of instruction were you given to because he has sort of he kind of drags one side.
Sure. So actually, it's kind of unexplained how Freddie did get this abnormal walk with the crutch, but I did do 2 months of training to learn how to walk realistically with the crutch, and it was very fun. I was learning how to walk up steps with a crutch and fall with the crutch, while Zachary Levi was learning how to fly and do all sorts of cool things. But it was still really cool, and I'm really glad. I was talking about this on my panel the other day. It's super cool to represent something that is super meaningful. That's a big reason why I became an actor in the first place. Is so I wanted to feel that feeling that I felt, I wanted to feel that feeling that I felt when I'd watch a movie and being like, oh my god, but they're like a cool adventurer. I want to feel like that, or but I can't because I'm limited to whatever, yada yada yada. But then I wanted to I don't know. It was a really cool role for me because people that are disabled or whatever, they can feel like they can be a superhero that's capable of that.
Sure. I mean, I guess that's kind of what the whole superhero thing is. It's like that power fantasy, you know. So I know that the future of Shazam in general, in terms of the films, is kind of like a giant question mark right now. But Where would you want to take Freddy if you got another chance to take another crack at him?
To space, and I would love to wear the suit, please. That's what I'd love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like preparing for the role? Did you read any of the comics or do any of the source material stuff?
I did. Growing up, my grandpa gave me a lot of hand-me-down comic books. So I had a Captain Marvel comic, and I had a lot of Justice League and
Sure.
Batman. I loved Batman. I had a lot of Batman. But I was familiar with Shazam. He was Shazam, I guess, later, but he was Captain Marvel in the beginning, so I had a lot of those comics.
Sure.
And that was very fun.
Yeah.
Freddy is disabled, but he's also completely obsessed with superheroes. And I was so like that kid in high school that had the superhero backpack that could tell you everything about every single superhero, especially if you're talking about back in those days, especially if you're talking about a DC Comics superhero. And much like Freddie Freeman, I was also adopted. And I think a lot of us have grown up in these, non-traditional families where you're being raised by adoptive parents or foster parents, or maybe you live with your grandmother or your aunt and uncle. And I think that living in a found family like that, or having these different experiences, there is a certain amount of isolation to those things. But I think much like Freddie Freeman, a lot of adoptive kids have sort of a grass is always greener situation going on, where they yearn for that connection. They want to know, if you are good at basketball, you're like, oh, was my dad a basketball player? If I am an artist, did my mother draw things? Do I have these natural talents? It's all like it is all perfectly natural for us to wonder where we all come from, where our roots lie. We yearn for those connections. But I think we also eventually realize that the thing that makes us special is the fact that people chose us. Most people do not get to choose their family. They have the family that they are born into. But if you are watching this right now and you are a disabled kid or a foster kid or a disabled adult or a foster adult, remember that you were chosen, that someone picked you. They selected you. They saw something special in you where they wanted to welcome you into their family and take care of you. And so I just wanted to reach out about this and sort of explain and, kind of justify in a way my connection to Shazam. And, it's okay to be that kid or even that adult that is still obsessed with superheroes, that you get super excited when you go to comic book movies, or you go to conventions, or you walk into your local, shop that sells, magic cards or comic books or whatever, and you feel like you do belong. Now you have a place where you do feel like you belong. But don't disregard the good things in your life if you have those things. If you do have people in your life that do care about you and did help you to have a good experience, or maybe you had a rough childhood. Maybe you latched onto those fictional characters because you wanted to live in a world outside of the upbringing that you had. A lot of the portrayal of Billy Batson, of Freddie Freeman, and a major through line of kind of the second film is that Freddy is using his powers to escape the person that he is, because on some level he feels like he is broken. On some level he is feeling like he just is somehow less than because of his disability. But I am going to say to you guys right now that if you are one of those people, if you are a disabled person, do not hide from that disability. Do not hide from the things that make you different. Embrace those things. Use them as a means to reach out and inspire others. We are not less than. We're different, but we are not less than. And don't let anyone out in the world treat you differently, talk to you differently, make you feel like you are less talented, less qualified, less capable of anything because of any of those things.